Marine Corps veteran Winsome Earle-Sears is the Republican nominee to be pre- governor of the state of Virginia. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go on about the historicalness of this. She, if elected, or her opponent, which is Abigail Spangenberger from Virginia as well, the Democrat, will be the first female governor of the state of Virginia. She would be the first black woman to be the governor of the state of Virginia if she's elected. Uh, Here's a American politician, businesswoman, Marine Corps veteran. She is currently the lieutenant governor of this state. She's Virginia's first female lieutenant governor, first woman of color to hold a statewide office in Virginia. All these things as a Republican. She was born in Jamaica, immigrated in 1970, and then she joined the Marine Corps. So let's look at a couple of clips of her and an interview with her, and let's get your opinion on what you think of her.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Virginia voters on either side of the aisle will be picking Virginia's first female governor this year. Acting Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears is now the first black woman to secure the Republican nomination. Her campaign announced that victory Saturday, saying Earle-Sears is focusing on lowering costs, educational freedom, and public safety. Her opponent is Abigail Spangenberger, the first woman to be elected to represent Virginia's 7th Congressional District in the U.S. House. Spangenberger's team announced she'd clinched the Democratic nomination Thursday, saying she's focusing on defending fundamental rights, protecting Virginia jobs, and standing up to the, quote, chaos in Washington. And Washington is what CBS 6 political analyst Dr. Bob Holsworth says voters will be focused on.
In so many ways, this election will probably be a little less focused on the historic nature of what's going to happen in Virginia and more on whether or not it's going to be a repudiation of Donald Trump.
President Trump lost Virginia by 10 points in 2020 and lost it by almost 6 in 2024. Holsworth said federal cutbacks in Washington will also largely affect Virginia workers.
So that's a challenge for Winsome Sears and the Republicans. How do they develop a set of issues that can overcome the fact that Trump has never been very popular in Virginia, and secondly, is probably even a little less popular today?
However, Holsworth said Spangenberger, who's seen as a moderate, will also be challenged by what's happening in Washington.
The question for them, I believe, is whether they can meet the moment. That what you've seen right now is that a lot of the rank and file people in the Democratic Party, they're not only upset with Donald Trump and the Republicans, they're upset with their own leaders. They're upset with the Democrats.
Holsworth says all eyes will be on Virginia come November.
I think it's going to be a very nasty race overall, because while the Democrats are condemning Trump and Musk, the Republicans, as they seek these issues, they're going to be talking about crime, transgender rights, and it's going to be a full court press.
8 News at 6 starts now.
8 News is your local election headquarters, and tonight 8 News has an exclusive, our one-on-one conversation with Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears. You're watching 8 News at 6. I'm Eric Phillip.
I'm Deanna Albritton. Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler Englander sitting down with the Republican nominee for governor less than 6 months ahead of Election Day, and he now joins us live in studio. Tyler, what did the two of you talk about?
Well, Eric and Deanna, it was really a wide-ranging conversation that focused on economic issues, education, and reproductive rights.
In your mind, what's at stake in this election?
Oh, everything. For me, we're talking about job creation. Job creators are wanting to come to Virginia because we will have the energy that they need. It's an all-of-the-above approach. It can't just be renewables because the sun doesn't always shine and the breeze doesn't always blow. And then it has to be, of course, about workforce talent. and education in general. Our children are not learning as they should. And so parents want the ability to send their children to any school that they want to. And then, of course, it's about money in my pocket. How much money do I get to keep of the hard earned wages that I've worked, again, so hard for? And so I'm always going to be for lower taxes, no matter what. And then, of course, I believe that when it comes to attracting businesses, it's also going to be about not being forced to join a union.
Why do you believe right to work is so important in ensuring Virginia remains the #1 state for business?
The reason why we've gotten to be the #1 state for business is because of all the methods and policies that we put in place that was attractive to businesses. And one of those is right to work. And that means that, again, you are going to be forced to join a union if that's not what you want to do. Well, this is America. This is not freedom. This is not liberty. And it's a tax. It's going somewhere. So I believe that we have to continue to be one of the 26 states, including Guam, by the way, that protects that work of freedom. Otherwise, businesses will either not come to Virginia, or those who are already here will not expand in Virginia, or they'll just pick up stakes and go to the other states.
I want to ask you about reproductive rights. As you know, currently in Virginia, abortions are legal in the first 2 trimesters, and then in the 3rd trimester, if the life of the mother is at risk. You've previously in the past expressed support for limiting a woman's access to abortion, whether when a fetal heartbeat can be detected in a news magazine.
I never said limiting access. I don't think anybody would be surprised that I'm pro-life. What I'm saying is we will support a mother. We will support life. And of course, what I want to know from my opponent is what is the limit? Because what she wants is that you could just take my underage child, my underage daughter, across state lines for an abortion and then just bring her back home as if nothing happened.
2023, you favored limiting abortion at 15 weeks. If a bill like that were to come to your desk as governor, would you limit a woman's access to an abortion at 15 weeks or less?
We're not limiting access at all. That's not what we're saying. As a matter of fact, what we really need to do is to get together and try to figure out where is the limit.
Where's the limit for you personally, or what would you advocate for as governor?
Well, I've already answered that question. We have to figure it out. What I want to know is what is my opponent's limit?
And you also wrote that you were morally opposed to a bill preventing clerks from denying someone a marriage license based on race, sex, or gender.
No, it wasn't that. What it was I wanted everyone again to understand, and this is not news because I've said it before, and so I don't know, maybe news to you, but it's not. I've been asked this question, answer the question. I merely wanted everyone to understand that I want that someone of faith would not be forced to perform a marriage, but a civil union, fine.
Just to follow up, does that mean you're opposed to same-sex marriage in Virginia? Are you for, you said, civil union?
Civil unions, fine. But when it comes to marriage, because it's a religious issue, I don't want a person who has religious faith to feel that they're forced against their will. It's freedom of religion.
And now it's important to note that the bill Sears said she was morally opposed to did include a provision that said, quote, religious organizations and members of the clergy acting in their religious capacity shall have the right to refuse to perform any marriage. You can see our full interview with Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears on our website, WRIC.com.
Okay, now there are Republicans in the state of Virginia that don't like some of the things about her. Here's a woman that she was born in Kingston, Jamaica in 1964, immigrated to the United States at age 6, grew up in Bronx, New York. She earned a associate's at Tidewater Community College, BA in English with the minor in economics at Old Dominion University, and an MA in organizational leadership at Regent University. Served as an electrician in the United States Marines from 1983 to 1986. She directed a Salvation Army homeless shelter before she started running for public office. Since 1988, she's been a Republican. Before 1988, she was a Democrat. She has, quite a few conservative viewpoints. Some of her viewpoints, there are folks in this state that, in the GOP, that say that she's a little liberal on some things, but its thing is that not really. Um, she's supported Doge. She's argued against DEI. Now, she did support medical marijuana, but opposed legalization for recreational use. You heard her opinion on abortion. She's called for the opening of more charter schools, lab schools, and virtual schools in Virginia, argued that CRT is definitely being taught in some form or fashion in Virginia schools, and accused critics of using semantics to deny it. She calls it racist. She supports civil unions but opposes same sex marriage, and she's pro Second Amendment. So, you know, I'm probably mostly supporting her because, well, she's full of jarhead. She's someone that came to this country with her family and made something of herself. Uh, she's argued quite well against Abigail Spanberger. I think that she's going to be a good candidate, but that's to be for you to decide as well. I thought I'd bring her up. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.